Hey guys, crew of Blind Wave. I'm Eric.
I'm Calvin.
I'm Aaron.
Aaron is joining us on our season finale and season premiere of season 2, Game of Thrones.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
You are now.
Yep. Now, Aaron, you've already seen all of Game of Thrones.
Yes, I have. I actually have been in our reaction videos for the newer ones.
Yes,
Yeah.
he has. Now, why is he joining us? I don't know. He's like, let me do it. They gotta see my face.
I guest started a couple episodes ago.
You did. He has not seen season 1 for like 4 or 5 years.
I don't know if I can remember what happens in season 1's
Yeah.
finale.
Okay. I've seen Game of Thrones so many times, and I've read the books twice now.
I've only watched the episodes once.
Okay.
I've never rewatched any of them.
All right, so we'll have a new perspective, but as always, the focus is on our sweet summer child, Calvin, who has not read the books, not seen the show, so this is the first time he will be seeing episode 10, Fire and Blood,
I was petting his head.
which is the words of House Targaryen.
Yes.
Fire and Blood?
Yep. So, Calvin, what happened last week?
Oh, I thought
Nothing
you were going to say button.
No.
I was like,
No, what happened last week? Nothing happened last week, right?
Terrible things.
Terrible things. Eddard died.
No!
Eddard
Ned
was killed.
by his own sword, Ice, used by Sir Ilan Payne, the mute executioner, on orders of Joffrey.
Ill and Pain.
Ilan Payne.
Ill
Ill
and Pain
Ilan.
is such a fitting name
It's
for an
such
executioner.
for an executioner.
But go on.
On Joffrey's orders, which went against what Cersei wanted, which is to send him to the wall in shame, right?
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen. He is now deceased. His daughters are stuck in King's Landing. Sansa is pretty much a prisoner, whereas
Yeah.
Arya is not.
Mhm.
She was seen on the streets and then last saw in the grasp of Yoren from the Night's Watch, right?
Yes.
Other stuff going on across the sea. Dany and Khal Drogo not having a good time. Khal Drogo
Not
is
great.
sick, very sick. He has a rancid wound.
Mm-hmm.
Dany is also pregnant and started to go into labor.
Yeah.
And was brought into the tent with the sheep woman,
Yeah.
or as the Dothraki like to call her, a witch. So that stuff is
Well,
happening.
she's doing all kinds of evil blood magic, so
Yeah, she
I don't think
she
just
killed-
regular shepherds do that.
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
she killed Khal Drogo's horse, which is a huge no-no for Dothraki. You don't kill your horse. Very
No.
important.
What if it's hurt?
Huh?
If it's hurt?
No. You kiss it, and it gets better. We had Tyrion in battle.
Yes.
He was a hardened warrior. He took out many... No, he got hit in the head, and he
And-
skipped the
yeah.
entire battle. But the battle was a diversion from Robb Stark. He sent 2,000 men
to their death.
to their deaths, but in reward for that terrible, terrible sacrifice, he was able to capture and destroy. Well, for one, rout Jaime Lannister's Lannister army and capture the Kingslayer.
2,000 for one guy?
He took out the
and
army.
he also took out the other.
His 18,000 men smashed one of the two Lannister armies,
Oh, okay.
and it was his first battle. In
Hey.
the book, he's about 15 years old.
Yeah.
Robb is.
And he does that?
Yeah, he does that.
Wow.
But in the show, he's more like 18 or 19.
Yeah.
So
he looks older than that.
Yeah,
In-
I think they're trying to go for like an 18 and 19
Okay.
thing. I mean,
Because
him
I imagine him like 24. Is
Maybe.
what the actor looks like in this.
yeah, maybe.
That's just me.
Him and John are supposed to be around the same age. Daenerys in the book is actually about 13 years old, so they definitely aged her up a bit. I
Yeah.
think she's more around 21.
I'm kind of glad they
or
did,
so.
especially considering what all happened with Dothraki.
Absolutely. It's just it was a different time back then. Then in the north we had Jon. He was attacked by, or no, the Lord Commander was attacked by a freaking zombie.
Yeah.
So he grabbed that thing and threw it, right? And then
Killed it with fire!
he killed it with fire. He got a sword.
Yeah.
Alistair Thorne was sent away with the hand, right?
Talk to what we find now is a Targaryen.
Yeah, he talked to Master Aemon,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I was going to say.
He also talked to Lord Commander Mormont, who told him that his father had been captured and his brother was going to war, right? Or no, Sam told him that because he found the letter, right?
Yes.
So he now knows that his father is captured and Robb is going to war. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when he learns more. Walder Frey and Catelyn negotiated a deal to get him across that bridge.
Yes.
He now has to marry one of the Frey children.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
And like we discussed before, it's like he's both married to all
Yeah.
of his daughters and none of them.
He's married to ex-Frey.
Yeah.
Yes. So, all that being said, guys, this is the season finale of Season 1, Fire and Blood. Calvin!
Muffin!
Button! Bells doth rock their horses and tents. And there's the history of Westeros for Game of Thrones. That's kind of like this one. That's what we do. So, let's watch it!
And
Yeah, it's so gross. Really sobers up, didn't it? Do you understand, Calvin? Smart Yoren is.
keeping her alive.
Smart Yoren is here.
Another dream sequence.
Dreams.
Dreams. Visions.
Three-eyed red.
This is real.
Dropped his arrow.
Fool.
What are you scared of?
What's his real name?
Water. But it's Hodor.
I know he had a name. Let's call him Hodor.
You should be watching our reactions.
All
and
that
learn.
matters.
You
Would
learn,
have been
Aaron.
explained.
Calvin knows. He knows more about you than you.
He was banned.
This is gonna be my face until Eddard Stark lives again. Don't make me laugh. Great! News travels fast.
Well, as the crow flies.
She was being strong for them.
Mm-hmm.
Rob! You've ruined your sword. We have to get the girls back. And then we will kill them all.
Do as you bid, child.
Someone has some new armor.
I'm going to give you his head as well. Or maybe he'll give me yours.
Twould be quick.
Be so easy, Sansa.
Go.
Will you obey
He's-
now?
Kind of watching out for her.
Or do you need another letter?
My lords, here is what I say to these two kings. There sits the only king I mean to bend my knee to. The King of the North.
Wow.
King of the North.
He inspires powerful men to do
Hard men of the north
hard
will
men.
bow to no man.
I mean, anything's better than Joffrey.
I want
Right?
to see him. Now.
Calvin, didn't you say you liked Joffrey at some point?
Let's
So
let
you
it
do
go.
watch our reactions.
Let it go. That's the king's squire. And her cousin. And he's skinny as shit.
They have my son. Get up, all of you.
Not you.
Not you.
Good job, Calvin.
You will go to King's Landing.
Do what?
Rule. You will serve as Hand of the King in my stead. You'll bring that boy king to heel and his mother too, if needs be. And if you get so much as a whiff of treason from any of the rest, Baelish, Varys, Pycelle,
Head spikes wolves. Why not my uncle? Why not anyone? Why me?
you're my son.
Where is he?
The boy did not live.
He was
wings like the wings of a bat. When I touched him, the skin fell from his bones. Inside, he was full of grave worms. I warned you that only death can pay for life. You knew the price.
Where's Khal Drogo?
The son for Drogo.
Show him to me. Show me what I bought with my son's life. This is not life. When will he be as he was?
When the sun rises in the west, sets in the east. When the seas go dry, when the mountains blow in the wind, like leaves.
Never. This is why you don't trust witches. I keep telling you.
If you make some kind of
you
wish.
keep bringing them back here.
Me?
Calvin loves witches.
Witches and hoes.
Or was it? Yeah, as it was.
I don't want you alone.
I like Drogo.
Be terrible.
Who's that?
Sam.
What? Ah! Are they?
It's his friends.
Yeah. So they're all going with him?
Yeah. I like the hilt,
Yeah.
the pummel.
It's a wolf's head. Used to be a bear.
It was remade.
You thought all of them were gonna go?
I thought it'd be
Going
cool.
with you.
They
But
would've- that would have been cool.
Said they all just stopped him.
yeah,
Which one's better?
did the right thing.
Okay.
Only it's gonna happen.
Holy shit! Look at his eyes.
Yeah.
Does that well.
And they had that whole sun and stars, moon of my life thing.
Such a cute couple. And
What else is she gonna do?
I mean, she could have just held his nostrils closed with her hand.
You better give up by the sword. I've seen him kick a boy to death.
I knocked him down and I kicked him in the balls and I kept kicking him until he was dead. I kicked him all to pieces. You better give me that sword!
You want it? Give it to you. I already killed one fat boy. I bet you never killed anyone. I bet you're a liar. But I'm not. I'm good at killing fat boys. I like killing fat boys.
Oh shit! Yeah, blacksmith.
Robert Baratheon's bastard.
It's 1,000 leagues from here to the wall, and winter is coming.
That poking fat boy is one of Melanie's favorite things.
Yeah.
Like she loves that. It's for poking fat boys and stuff.
They killed my father.
And you're going to bring him back to life, are you?
No,
Good. I've had enough of that sort of thing.
all the Rangers are good. Because I want you and your wolf with us when we ride out beyond the wall tomorrow. Beyond the wall, I'll not sit meekly by and wait for the snows. I need to find out what's happening.
The Night's Watch will ride in force against the wildlings, the White Walkers, and whatever else is out there. And we will find Benjen Stark, alive or dead. I will command them myself. So I'll only ask you once, Lord Snow. Are you a brother of the Night's Watch? Or a bastard boy who wants to play at war?
He said Lord Snow.
You alright?
I won't watch you burn.
Is that what you fear? Sir Jorabine has gone into the pyre. You swore to obey me.
What do we do with witches?
Burn the witches! Do it. knew it!
I know, Calvin.
I knew it!
Just watch the show.
Blood of my blood.
She's got 3! Oh, that's so cool.
That's a bit of a game changer.
What, tiny little lizards?
Oh, it gets bigger! Well, now the screaming kind of feels like a Velociraptor
Yeah.
in the beginning of Jurassic Park.
And thus the season ends with the scream of a dragon that we haven't seen for 300 years. Now, Calvin, you had no idea there would be dragons, right?
There were dragon eggs.
What, like,
Where there's fire and dragon eggs,
No.
there will be dragons.
No. What did the witch say? Only death can pay for life. Khal Drogo is a king, and his blood and his death birthed those dragons.
I
This
mean,
was a magical event.
you could count, like, there was 3 deaths, kind of, right?
Yeah.
You could say the witch, Khal Drogo, and her son
Yep.
for 3 dragons,
Yeah.
In a way.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's one way you could kind of maybe think of it, too.
Yeah.
Rather than just one king brought 3 dragons.
We'll have to talk more as the series goes, but we have to remember this was a magical event.
Also, the witch probably had some magic in her.
maybe. Yeah.
I mean, all that magic dust flying around probably
Yeah.
helped a little bit too.
I mean,
Ashes.
remember whenever the witch was doing her magic, she used blood
Yeah.
to do it. Not only did she use blood, but she used the finest horse blood to do it. You know, so the status of whose blood it is can count as well. Khal Drogo was a king.
And he was never defeated.
He was never defeated. And he
Long
was
ponytail.
put on a sacrificial pyre in which she sacrificed herself too, in a way.
But he was already dead, though. Didn't
Yes,
she
yes,
kill him
but
before he put him on the
it's
fire?
still his blood. This was a magical event.
Yeah.
This wasn't just throwing him in a fire and heating them up to certain temperatures. It has to. You're like, it has to be certain temperatures at certain increments, and that's how you do it.
Use a
And
micro-
Calvin,
I
you
was
don't.
guessing, okay? I had a theory. I was going with it. It
Calvin-
seemed like a logical progression.
Use a
It
candle.
was going there.
Candle?
And now we have dragons, so who's really right?
Me.
Shit. Use a candle, then a microwave, then an oven.
You just gotta get a damn dragon.
Then a
incubator.
kiln.
It's like Calvin doesn't think that people have tried that before.
People thought they were rocks. Even you said, it's a rock, Calvin. What do you think they're going to do? Just
Only-
come to life?
Only death can pay for life, Calvin.
Did
Now,
Did you ever have any doubts on Sean Bean's character?
any
all the-
doubts
all
that
the-
he would die?
That he didn't die. Because I remember the first time I watched it, I think you had already seen them all.
Yeah.
And I watched first season with you. And I remember my first thought was like, on episode 9, I'm like, no. No.
Yeah.
No, someone put a sword there. Someone shot the guy with an arrow.
It's a dream.
There's something happened. He's not dead. He's not dead. And then like the very first episode, or the very beginning of this episode, just like, head! It's like, ah!
Yeah.
Like, did you ever have any doubts, or were you like, no, he's dead?
Well, Calvin kind of explained last episode that, like, well, he is Sean Bean. I just didn't expect it would happen so soon.
Yeah.
I mean, that is true.
Yeah, and mine was really introducing it from the book's perspective because I started as the show started coming out, I just read the whole book, you know. So when I did it, like I kind of said last episode, I kind of looked forward, I kind of looked backward. I'm like, okay, someone saved him here somewhere. He's not in the rest of the book. What's going on?
I was always really careful when looking on IMDb to find out what actors were in what. I was
Yeah.
always really careful not to see how many episodes they've been in.
Did you expect Khal Drogo to go so soon?
No.
No. Yeah.
That's also a big
Yeah.
disappointment for episode 9.
He's a cool character. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now he can be Aquaman.
Yeah. All right. Let's.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
that,
gonna.
that actor's gonna be actor.
He's gonna be Aquaman and.
Jason Momoa is going to be Aquaman.
He's gonna be Aquaman in
Is he-
Batman v Superman.
Is he going to be like a Navy
A badass.
SEAL?
No, he's gonna be.
turned-
He's gonna
What
be.
is-
He's gonna be like the cartoon with the beard And I don't know if he's gonna have the hook or not, but
Oh,
yeah,
like a hook instead of a hand,
yeah,
kind
that'd be
of.
I
awesome.
want to have like a trident.
Yeah, he'll have to try it.
So
Absolutely.
he's gonna be Poseidon.
Basically,
Basically.
Zack Snyder already talked about how the Aquaman's trident could pierce Superman's skin. So I think that they're gonna go with
That's
that kind of
interesting.
stuff.
That's strong.
Yeah. And if you remember, Calvin won't, but in the first Man of Steel, towards the beginning, there was an attack on an oil ship. We have no idea how it started. Could be an Aquaman thing.
He attacked an oil ship.
Maybe.
Wouldn't that make a mess?
So let's go down this episode. Calvin, first of all, what do you think about one of the episode, but two, season 1?
Characters grew the way I wanted them to.
Mm-hmm.
Characters stopped growing in ways that I didn't want them to.
That's a good way of putting it.
Freaking Joffrey, man.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair assessment of season 1.
Freaking
Joffrey, man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember feeling that way.
Yeah.
I don't remember ever liking him though in the beginning.
Yeah.
I never said that I liked him. I said that I could see where there was
He
a
is nice
possibility.
and good.
He's a kind
I-
and just king.
Never said that.
I could live under
You did
his
know
yoke.
what he did say was that he's a very smart kid, which he is. He is a very smart kid. And you also did say that you don't think that he knows that he's a bastard, which I also believe. And everything else you said was wrong. But you were right for those two things, which I give props. Calvin this season has correctly guessed. In episode 1, he guessed that there was the twincest
The incest stuff going on.
The incest stuff going on. He guessed Robb Stark's 18,000 men or 20,000 men was a ploy. He guessed the dragons, like episode 2, pretty much.
Episode 2?
Yeah.
As soon as I
Eggs
saw the
showed
dragon eggs,
Yeah.
and she started putting them by fire. I was
Yeah.
like,
He's like,
Dragons!
He's
and then
incubating them.
and then he also correctly guessed that the bodies would rise in the north because Ghost was freaking out. So,
Didn't they show that like in the first episode?
well, we knew bodies were rising, but we didn't know exactly what was going on.
Oh, okay.
But we did see that it was a direct attack on Lord Commander Mormont. It wasn't just a mindless attack, you know? It was a insertion attack. Aaron, what did you notice this time around that you might not have noticed?
I think there were some little things here, but I don't know if I can say them yet.
Okay.
Like there's a couple things like
because they correlate to things later.
things later on. I'm like, this
Okay.
is kind of interesting. Okay.
All right.
There was one thing I was like, at this point, like, Jon Snow taking off with the Night's Watch and stuff like that. At this point, what would have happened? Are they going to send a whole bunch of Night's Watch after him and leave the wall even less guarded?
Well, I mean, he's a pretty well-known bastard for being a bastard.
Yeah.
But if he did really take off, they would send ravens and he would be found.
I just feel like one guy left. Let's send 20 guys after him.
You got to remember, right now, the
Uh-oh.
Night's Watch is not only a order of people that guard the wall, but it's pretty much a prison.
Yeah.
And if you're found, you know, first of all, you got to stop wearing black because everybody knows the Night's Watch, they all wear
They
black.
all wear black,
you know?
yeah.
So John would have to do that. He would, would Robb... I don't even know if Robb would accept him for being a deserter.
I mean, maybe.
I mean,
but
he is
my
his
other-
father's son.
My other thought is like in the first episode, there's people there and they find him and they
Yeah.
they take care of it. But everyone's pretty busy right now.
People are pretty busy. You are right.
You know what I
We
mean? Like-
have already seen one of the wildlings, or actually the only wildling right now on the show, was with a Night's Watch member that had left. You know, so we know that that's happening. And Commander Mormont said that we had, if we killed every Night's Watch member that had left the night for the night, we wouldn't have anybody here.
ghosts.
But what he's talking about, he actually said it like whoring and Molestown. The Night's Watch they have an oath they can't be with women, but they don't care. They just go to Molestown. They have whores. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Some of them do. I would probably
But
say a majority.
at least
of
they
them.
come back. They're still.
But they
working,
come
So
back-
they kind of like.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. Some take their oaths more seriously than others, but that's what's gonna happen.
I just feel like if they don't want people to desert, they should have a fucking guard at the door. Like John just walked out, basically. You know what I
It's
mean?
not that side of the wall that they're guarding.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
you're right.
That's true.
The Night's Watch is marching beyond the wall now
Mhm.
in force, led by Commander Mormont. John's going with him, so that's exciting. I think Sam's going too. Yeah, Sam went too.
Yeah.
So we are gonna have a little bit of season 2 fun beyond the wall. It
Yeah.
looks like.
Hopefully,
and Ghost
hopefully it's fun.
I'm sure it's going to be just peaches and daisies. Shaggy Dog. We were introduced to Shaggy Dog,
Shaggy Dog.
Shaggy
which
Dog.
is Rickon's dire wolf.
And that's Bran's younger brother.
It's his youngest brother.
It's the youngest,
Youngest.
of the
Yeah,
Stark
there are
kids,
5
right?
Stark children and
And Snow.
Jon. Robb, we have Sansa, Arya, Bran, and Rickon.
And then Jon.
And then Jon being the bastard, who is, I think he's a little bit younger than Robb.
Yeah. And like, I just think Shaggy Dog's so funny because like all the other ones have like kind of like normal names.
Well, there was Lady, who died.
Yeah, rightfully
That was
so.
Sansa's,
That
right?
was such a stupid dog name.
Now, Calvin, now that we've watched the entire season, what did Eddard say when the king said Lady had to die? He said, no, she deserves more than a butcher, or better than a butcher, because
Yeah.
she is of the north. Which is exactly what we feel about Eddard.
Yeah.
He's of the north, he deserves more than a butcher, and he was executed by a literal butcher.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was a really cool piece of foreshadowing. The Hound is now decked out in Kingsguard armor.
Mm-hmm.
Which I can't remember from the book if he really did that or not. Because he's not technically a knight. And I don't think that he wants to be knighted, but I thought Kingsguard is only knights. So if you guys maybe cleared that up for me, because I don't really remember that happening that way in the books. And I kind of just only noticed it here.
Gotcha.
a
I
little
mean,
bit. But he's
it's,
wearing,
it's not like they couldn't have knighted him just to make him a Kingsguard.
True. I mean, they did get rid of Barris and Selmy this last episode,
Yeah.
right? They put Jaime as the head of the Kingsguard.
Mm-hmm.
So there would be a vacant seat. There are only 7. So I guess the Hound could become a Kingsguard, but we'll have to see how that goes.
Something I couldn't remember.
Yes.
The dude that grabbed Arya.
Yoren.
Yorn.
I don't remember who he was.
He is the recruiter from the Night's Watch. He's dressed all in black.
Yeah.
He goes around to castles. He takes their prisoners.
So he knew her dad and he just saw
Well-
her and
While he was being led through the crowd by the guards, Yorn, like, he signaled to him, and Yorn came over, and then Eddard yelled the name of the statue that Arya was sitting on.
Yeah.
And
he saw
Yorn
him
looked
there.
over and saw her,
And
and
then, yeah.
he took her to make sure that she didn't interfere with the execution and get killed.
Yeah.
And then,
okay.
cut her hair and...
And then
I remember that part.
earlier in the season, we've been introduced to Yoren. Pretty much the whole season. He hears about Catelyn taking Tyrion, right, in that bar or tavern, and he races back to King's Landing to tell Eddard, like, hey, your wife is fucking up. She's taken the imp. The only reason I've done this is because your brother is my brother. He's a member of the Night's Watch.
Yeah.
So I'll do this for you.
What's his name?
Yoren.
No, Stark.
Rob?
No.
The missing one?
Yeah.
Benjen
yeah.
Stark is lost, and they're going to try to look for him because something is going on.
Yeah.
Yep. What did you think of the King of the North speech?
Oh, yeah.
I still like...
Yeah.
I still
Great
like that
John?
character. Great John.
Great John.
I don't know why I can't remember his name. I can't remember anybody's name.
Here's what I think of those Southern kings. Now, yeah. Now we're getting little. We've gotten little clues here. Both Renly and Stannis, Robert's brothers, are
vying
rebelling
for the-
and vying for the crown. So we have Renly, Stannis, Joffrey, and now Robb, all vying to rule. Right?
Yeah.
The first 3 going for the Iron Throne. Robb going for independence for the North.
Yeah, King of the North.
Yeah.
Rather than King of all of it.
Yeah.
And then all of them have their own armies.
Yes. That's the thing. The Westeros does not have an army. They have 7 kingdoms with 7 armies that have to, and the houses allegiances to the throne, keep everything in order. But when something like this happens and everybody's vying for different people, your entire country goes into chaos and war.
Yep.
The only thing that kept them together were the dragons. And there are no more dragons.
Right, Calvin?
There's 3! I knew it.
Remember, that's what the Great John said. We only bow to the dragons. We'll see, Calvin. Now, I always thought that the King of the North, they'd all go, the King of the North! They're all screaming it. What happens when they're like after 3 minutes, like, King of the North! And they don't want to be the first one to stop screaming, and they start dying. King of the North! The King. Let's go back.
That's why there's a cinematic cut.
That's why there's a transition. Yep.
Yes.
Cersei is banging her cousin, Lancel Lannister, the former squire of the king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More incest.
More incest. She just can't get enough of that incest.
you figure out all of Obi-Wan King's Landing, she could find someone else to bang. Talk to Littlefinger. I'm sure he could help her out somehow.
To be fair, who can you trust? Can you trust somebody that you can possibly blame Robert's death on? You know, have leverage over? And she's only kind of turned on by her own people,
Blondes.
I guess, kind of. Blondes, yeah.
And
I don't know, like her,
Jamie is indisposed, so
her husband's dead
A little
now.
bit.
Like, would there be a problem if she like found something to?
Yes.
Yeah.
something.
She's the queen regent, and
I mean, the king was allowed to do that, right? Even when he was king.
He's the king. You can't really supersede the king, but as of right now, you know, I wouldn't want Joffrey knowing that I'm doing those things, because as of now, he thinks he's legitimately the heir, and he wouldn't want his mother doing those things.
Gotcha. The fat boy that Arya was talking to.
Yeah,
He's
I like killing fat boys.
Before that, he's like, he once kicked a man to death. Yes, I kicked him, and then I kicked him in his balls, and then I kept kicking him until he died. He tried dying by being kicked in the balls.
It can happen.
Yeah, that is.
But
It happened in
fat
Last
kid?
Action Hero.
It's a
What?
fat giant kid. Did it? I don't remember that.
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger kicked a guy and he flew like 6 feet up.
But yeah, I just like, I couldn't imagine being kicked to death by being kicked in the balls.
He even said, "I kicked him to pieces."
Yeah,
Kicked him into pieces.
That's not a clean death like Edward
No.
got, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah, and that sucks seeing his head up there. A little piece of trivia, and they got kind of in trouble with this. The third head that we see up there is actually George W. Bush with a wig on his head.
What?
When they found out that was it, HBO got in trouble, you know, because they were like, "Oh, how could you dare put politics into this?" Because this was still around that,
Right.
not right around that time, but getting there. But so what HBO came out and said, "Look, we just didn't have a whole lot of heads, and we didn't happen to have his head, and we just used it." Is what their excuse was. I always thought that was a really funny story.
yeah.
I wanna go back and
rather
look
than
Yeah. We can here. Actually, I kind of know where it is.
right in the-
right there.
yeah,
I can.
that is clearly
That
I
is
George
can-
W. Bush's
I can
profile
see
with
it.
a wig on.
with a wig.
Can you see it?
Yeah,
That is
Yeah.
funny.
I always thought that was a funny piece of trivia.
Yeah, I like that.
The last thing I really have is that the Khalasar took off, right? All the
Yeah.
Dothraki are gone. Except we can kind of see a couple of the men still there, right? So those are called the Blood Riders, right? Those are like Khal Drogo's boys, like his crew, like his main crew. And even
okay.
in death, they won't leave him. Like they'll, if he dies, they're killed. You know what I'm saying?
gotcha.
But at that moment, they then kind of transferred to Dany. So now she still has like 4 or 5 Blood Rider Dothraki. So I still think it's cool that she still has those guys.
I say some of
is
them
cool.
left though because she gave him permission. Like you can leave if you want to, right?
Well,
Some
that
people
was
left.
mostly the sheep people. They
Yeah,
call
that
them.
looked like slaves and
It
stuff.
was mostly slaves. It was mostly like weak, very short-haired Dothraki. You know what I'm saying? But she still has some left, and she has Jorah, and she has 3 dragons. Okay, guys, so that's gonna be everything for season 1 of. I almost said Dragon Ball Z. Of Game of Thrones. I had a lot of fun doing this. It was really fun to just rewatch the show.
Yeah.
I encourage you guys, if you haven't already, to go back and watch all of them and check out our reactions. And come back tomorrow, which is Sunday, for the premiere of Season 2. I don't remember what the name is. We'll find out tomorrow.
I don't know.
I'm sure it's something awesome.
Probably.
Last thing, oh yeah, we didn't talk about, but Gendry is with Arya now. The blacksmith boy.
Yes, Gendry.
Yes,
I didn't know what
Gendry.
his name was.
His
but-
name was Gendry. They called him Gendry. Come here, boy. Anyway, that's a little cool thing too. I love
Yeah.
that guy. All right, so guys, make sure you are hitting the subscribe button and the like button. You can check out blindwave.net for all of our Blind Wave things. And you can also, if you're interested, check out our Patreon account. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we do put that reference material right for you for your convenience. And because of that, we cannot really monetize these videos. So if you like what we do and you want us to keep going through all 4, 5
seasons,
lots
right?
of seasons of Game of Thrones, including like the 10 shows that we watch on the offhand and everything
Man,
else.
there's like a 6th one coming out soon too, right?
We'll be able to finish before that comes out too. All right, if you guys would like to maybe go to that Patreon account, have some fun, give some
Yeah.
money. All right, that's gonna be everything. I'm Eric,
I'm Calvin.
I'm Aaron.
and we'll see you guys tomorrow for season 2. Calvin, Button.